Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show and the second final word of this 25-26 campaign. Lockie is with us. He's just had to run into the kitchen for a second. He can still hear us, though. It may be the second final word, but it's the first loss of the Premier League season for 25-26. And it wasn't just a loss. It was an absolute thrashing. Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. Now, we have a group chat. Normally, I'm active in the group chat, but I stayed away from it yesterday. After the game, I just dipped straight out, went out for Italian. Yeah, exactly, Andrea. I thought of you while I was eating it, mate. Went out for Italian and then watched a film. And then, like I said, we've been watching the football from other teams today. So I haven't really had a chance to take in what these lads are saying. So it's genuinely going to be the first time I'm hearing this. So, Andrea, I'm going to come to you first of all. Initial reactions and, 5-0. I've just noticed the title says Leeds United 5, Arsenal 0. That I wish that needs changing.
So, yeah.
But yeah, what's the reaction, bro?
Yeah, first of all, it's good to be with you both, like the good old times, just the three of us for once with this throwback. But yeah, the initial reaction was, like everyone, I think, very disappointed, but not for the result, to be fair, but how we approached the game, how we were set up yesterday by Farke, honestly, because I think we lost the game, even just with the starting 11, how we were set up. I think the move, the decisions that he took yesterday, showed that he approached the game with the same mentality and same setup that we saw on Monday against Everton. And you cannot do that against a completely different side, pressing high like Arsenal with a completely different intensity. It was like David against Goliath, if we want to do a comparison. So yesterday, yeah, I think I took a lot of negatives, to be fair. I don't tend to look at the score sheet. I get that it's Arsenal, but I've read so many times too that, it was only Arsenal. It was Arsenal, we were not supposed to win at Arsenal. Yeah, it's difficult to win at Arsenal, but every team has a chance because every game starts 0-0. So I don't like either the mentality that I've seen so much yesterday after the game. Yeah, you're not supposed to win at the Emirates. No, you have a chance. With that mentality, we don't win. We wouldn't have win at Highbury in 2003 then, because every team has a chance. But yeah, honestly, I think there was so many negatives. Zonal marking, 2 goals from it. The distance from the players, the midfield, better. And it really goes a long way to say that, to be fair. Better in the second half compared to the first. In the first, they were either way too high on the pitch or either way too deep down into our own box. Basically, arms to arms, shoulder to shoulder with the center at the start. So Gruev, Pirot, I think the starting 11 was completely misread, and the decisions that Farke took yesterday played a part in how the game played out eventually, honestly, to be fair, because we kept going for the long ball because we had no verticality at all. Gruev is completely different to Ampadu. We saw that yesterday, 100%, because Ampadu, when he's marked, he moves around, creates space, goes and get the ball, moves all around. Gruev was so static. And when he got the ball, 9 out of 10, he passed the ball back to the centre-backs or to the full-backs. So no verticality. We go for the long ball, but the long ball, again, like the first half against Everton, is for Pirot. Pirot between Saliba and Gabriel. So basically losing every duel. And again, we've seen that Nyonto, Aris, James, light players, physically completely overwhelmed by their fullbacks, Calafiori and Timber. Substitutions, there was still time, 2-0 down at half time, to make some changes to try to get back.
Sorry, can I just jump in just before you do?
Tactically. to make some
Just-
halftime. You know, I think you're
You-
mute.
Am
Yeah,
I? Can you hear
are?
me?
I can hear you, Joe.
No, I'm not.
Try to speak, mate.
It's you.
No, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Andrea?
Lucky, can you hear him?
Yeah.
Lucky, can you hear me? Hear him?
Yeah.
No, it's you.
It's you.
You.
I'm the only
You.
one.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're gonna say, Lucky, can you hear him?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you a question.
Can't hear you, Joe.
I know. I shouldn't have. Just you continue. You continue. No. Oh, he's gone. Right. I'm gonna wait for him to come back because I want him to finish because there is fine. Just totally outside of the football. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm
You
all
all
right.
right? Yeah, work going okay?
Yeah, apart from little injury I had there the other day, trying to lift things that I shouldn't have done.
Oh yeah, I remember you sent a picture,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I've got like a bruise, like literally like down
Yeah.
half my arm now, which is fun. So don't do that. Don't lift stuff that you shouldn't when you think you're strong when you're not.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was
It's,
like, I'll get this.
Yeah. But the thing
Do you know
is,
what?
I carried on and I had no idea. And I pulled
Oh,
my
okay.
sleeve up and I felt a big lump on my arm. What's that?
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
doctor told me. But yeah, apart from that, I'm good, mate. I'm loving work. It's good fun.
Yeah, good.
Till it starts raining every week.
Which will soon be coming, mate. It'll soon be coming. It definitely will be, man. Show the bruise, show the bruise, show the bruise, they're saying.
I've got to lift my sleeve up.
Get it out, fit lads.
Look at that.
Oh, bloody hell, mate.
Yeah.
That
Weren't
is
joking.
bad. I saw the lump, but I didn't think it'd do
Yeah.
that.
So that's where the lump was. Now it's a
And then
bruise.
it's bruised
Yeah.
up.
It means it's
Fucking hell.
healing. It's a good thing. There we go.
Yeah, you know.
It's like I've been injecting.
Can you hear us, Andrea? Yeah, you can. Good stuff.
Yeah, now.
Right. So what I was going to say, because you...
Could you hear me before when I was speaking?
We could hear you. Yeah. We could hear you.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'd have been sat in silence for 8 minutes, mate, which would have been strange.
Yeah, that
We'd have
was
just seen you
wondering
going... Me and Lockie like, yeah. But you were just about to go on to the second half, and I just wanted to say that one thing I did see in the group chat at half time, because I always dip in between what's on Twitter just to see what you two lads are saying, because I take obviously your opinion very highly, both of yous. But you called what happened. Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted to give you
Yeah,
props.
man.
You went, if this doesn't happen, then this will happen. And within 3 minutes, it happened. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, he was bang on. But go on, Andrea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, man. Honestly, if you don't change something, if a car is broke, you don't fix the wheel or something else, you know, the car is still broke. You know, it's still gonna be broke. So broken. Sorry, not broken. Of course, broken. But yeah, it didn't change at halftime. I was really baffled, amazed, to be fair, because he did the right substitutions against Everton in the second half. Because the setup, you know, was very well in the first half. We absolutely dominated Everton. Second half, the game restarts. Moyes makes some tactical adjustments, like moving Alcaraz in the middle. And by the way, yesterday, the movement in the middle in the final third by Calafiori, we never read it properly. When Calafiori was going inside, we never read it properly. So Falcon made some adjustments with Mecha and Harrison against Everton yesterday. Pirot, you cannot afford. I've looked at Serie A yesterday. I've looked at other leagues, you know, because all the leagues have restarted now. If a player on top tier, in a top tier league, is not playing well, they change. You cannot afford to wait till the 65 or 70th minute, because he would have waited till the 70th minute or 65th minute, probably like he did against Everton, to make a substitution. If we were not for the early other 2 goals, you know, in the second half, because he changed after we conceded 2 more.
Yeah.
The game was still manageable. Something could have still happened if he changed at halftime. I'm not saying that changes or the score would have been different, but at least try to change something if it's not working.
Do you know what, Andrea? You bang on, because what pissed me off this morning when I did, like, I do a little bit more of a calmer post match when I've got to have a look at comments and got to have a look at Farke's presser. And in his presser, he said, I liked how we performed at 4-0. Now, when you actually look at what that's when Mecha was on the pitch. And I was like,
Yeah.
do you know the reason we perform well is Mecha was either fouling their defenders or winning fouls, which enabled us to get up the pitch. So the reason we were performing better as a unit at 4 was because Mecha was on the pitch. That's how I don't know if it was
the
that
first
simple,
line of
but
passing. Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It was something.
yeah, Lucky, I'll come to you because, sorry, this you know more than me, but this is how I see it. So for first 20, 25 minutes, I thought we performed okay, right? I thought we performed okay. There was a few times we tried to get James in behind Calafiori. And for me, that was the bit we needed to target. I'd said it all week. He's a speedster. Calafiori's not the quickest. Get it in behind him. We managed to get a couple of balls out there. We got a corner from it. We almost scored from that corner, right? But then we couldn't ever get that ball out there. Why couldn't we do that? Because the man up top was stood in front of, no movement, was stood in front of, for me, probably the best centre-back partnership in European football right now, for me, right? It's up there anyway.
Absolutely.
So it was all in front of them. Like, if he's going to continue to play Pirro against Liverpool, this will happen all the time. I understand Pirro played well at Everton, for me. Not for everyone, but for me. But this isn't the Championship where you go, well, it worked against that team, so it might work against this team. For me, I've been saying all week, like, start bloody Mecha. And I don't know about you, Lucky, but was it as simple as that, do you think?
As simple as in terms of the striker position, yeah, obviously, as Andrea said, will it change the game? Probably not, but I think it gives you something. The reason we got Mecha, I'm assuming one of the reasons is because he's completely different to Pirro in every way, right? Yeah. They're almost the opposite type of striker, which is good because we need both. But in that game, I just think it was very, very clear what we needed before, during, and then after. It's the same result. And obviously, the manager, Farke, said that in his presser after, when he, without saying his name, when he came on, we looked better. And that's just because it was something up there. You're playing the way we couldn't play out. Look, their press is ridiculously good. It's one of the best. It is what it is. So we went long. Honestly, I don't mind that. As long as it's productive, and it was worse because they won everything. Then because we were so deep, because we tried to play out, they won every second ball. They just turned, and it was wave 2. Same again, repeat, kick out, wave 3. It was brutal. It got brutal. And that's when a player's confidence is just on the floor. Then they don't know what to do when they get the ball. They're hesitant. Top teams can do this to you, and they will. But you need an outlet. You need an outcome to what you're doing. Mecha, for me, and again, it wouldn't have been perfect, but he knows the areas. He knows where the spaces are up there. He can occupy, it might not beat them every time, but he'll put him about. He'll get into him. He
gave them fouls. He won fouls. That's what we needed.
He'll at least slow their tempo down.
Yes.
What I realised about Pirro, even when it went up to him, and look, I'm not blaming him because he's not this type of player. He just isn't.
And do you know what? It's not his fault that the manager picked him in this game. It is not his fault.
Absolutely.
Not blaming him.
100%.
At all. No chance. But he didn't even foul them. And again, he's not that type of player. Mecha, it's up there. He's going to foul them, innit? And that at least slows it down. It allows you 5 or 6 seconds to get a little higher, get your shape back. These are little things that matter. A ball's into him. He'll win a foul. Good. We've got a bit of territory, a little bit of control. We can work on that. We had nothing to work on. It was just constantly try play out, not get past midfield, or go along. They win it back. Like you said, though, when it got to James, although, look, it's just Calafiori, wherever he's still a decent defender, innit? What was so frustrating, and I've said this I almost feel like last season as well, about our wingers, is how much they absolutely love to cut inside. The first 2 attempts, James is purely one-on-one with Calafiori. One-on-one, beat your man, and he's cutting inside on his left. The third time, he beat him, and he did. He skinned him. He got down the side. We got, like you said, cross in, corner, nearly scored from him.
Yeah.
Do that every time, James. When you're one-on-one, just beat him. You're quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Get ball into the box. If there's no one in the box, that's not his problem. That's them. That's us. Same for Nonto on the other side. I know it's harder because he's right-footed. But go on the outside a bit more. I'm crying out for it. And hopefully Okafor can do this, because it's something that my biggest pet peeve is when wingers always stop and come inside. When you're 1v1, go on the outside. Like, just do it. You'll get results, 100%. A corner, anything. So yeah,
I remember in the game, mate, because the first time James got it, he cut in and had a strike with his left, and it just came back out. And Gary Neville said, "I don't know why he's doing that. Stand him up, run at him," and he did it, and then we won the corner.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And in a game like this, a corner is big in a game like this for us when you can't.
We almost scored.
Exactly, and it was a great header as well from Stroud. To be fair, but that was my main annoyance. I could almost accept that we couldn't beat their press. Look, it was very good. They just cut Stroud's left off. You know what I mean? Stroud likes that little left-footed round the side. They cut that off.
Yeah.
They went, right, you're playing into midfield. And then they always had 2 or 3 in midfield, and we couldn't do it about it. We don't have the players to adapt that quick and stuff like that. We'll have to learn from that, because teams will see that. Teams will see that and go, right, we can do that, or something similar. So that is something we'll have to learn, or we can learn how to play longer at times. But you need the profile up top to do that. So they were my biggest thingies in the game for me.
Yeah. Do you know what I think as well? You spoke about it, Lockie, just to come back to you. And this press that Arsenal had, nothing encompassed that more than that second goal. When Gruev picks up the ball, he's got 2 players available to right, and he sees Pirro running behind. I think it was Zubamendi. No, it was Rice. Sorry, Zubamendi, and he tries to be too cute to give him that ball, and then Rice has just gone bang, I'm having that, and then plays it back to Zubi, who then plays in Saka. And I felt Stroud was guilty of it at times too. We don't have that time on the ball against teams at this level, so it was a big wake-up call for them as well. For me, I thought
you've got 1 touch, 2 max.
Yeah.
Max 2. It might have to be first time sometimes, but that's what we've got to learn. And although Arsenal are probably one of the best, probably in Europe at doing stuff like that, we've seen them do it to top teams in the Champions League last year. There's still be good teams in the Premier League that are also good at that side of the game. So it won't just be Arsenal that press like that can give you 1 or 2. Look at Newcastle's midfield next week. They aren't giving us time, are they? They're not giving us nothing. So we have to. The second we get that ball, we have to know where it's going, and that's where we need. That's what we need to work on this week. You are right. Everything's got to be quicker. Everything.
Yeah.
I think the game against Everton was very good because it was the first game. It was basically just a physical duel between the 2 of us, winning percentages, all that stuff, and we won that and deserved it. We were quality. This is the opposite end, where it's right when it's more than just a physical game. That's where you're starting to see that's where we need to develop a bit more. So yeah, it's quick, and they know Stroud's left-footed. They're going to cut that left side off. They're going to make him play inside or go on his right. They know Gruev's left-footed. They're going to cut all that left off. Gruev got the ball. He's left-footed. He's got no right. They're going to force him on his right. They're going to make him hesitate. You know, another thing that annoyed me just very quickly. And look, my favourite player, Altanaka, I was looking earlier at the numbers. 5 duels, ground duels. He won none of them. It's little things like that that matter in games like this. And it's not just, look, you could name any midfielder. None of them were great, were they? From what it was against Everton to this, it was
no one was great yesterday.
Can I get your, because I'm aware that, you know, you see the game differently to me, both of you. I'll come to you, Andrea. I feel Gruev is taking the brunt of all the criticism. I think Stack was pretty shite yesterday, if I'm being totally honest. He got caught on it on the edge of the box when they nearly got second, when they nearly got a first that Gyökeres sliced wide. I feel like Gruev is getting too much flack. Are the people right? I'm seeing takes that he's not good enough at Premier League after fucking 1 performance at Arsenal. And I'm like, what are we doing here? But can you give me your thoughts on the midfield 3? Were they all at fault? Who was worse? Like, what's your thought?
I think the midfield were nowhere to be seen yesterday, to be fair. So all the 3 of them, maybe Gruev did the key mistakes leading to especially the second goals, you know, and he never got us in the 6. You know that the 6 is the one starting the build-up for us. With Ampadu, Gruev wasn't able to do that. To step in Ampadu's shoes yesterday and replicate what Ampadu does in our setup. So of course he's the one catching the eye, but I think it was down to the game plan too, because I'm glad that that Glocky mentioned Tanaka. I think Tanaka got dragged so many times wide by the midfielders, leaving Gruev and Stack, not the pacey midfielders, the one with pace is Tanaka in that midfield, we've seen Stack doing very well in the first half, especially against Everton, but it was his movement management, the management that he had of his positioning, in the final third, getting in the correct spaces at the right time. Of course, he wasn't able to do that yesterday because, especially in the first half, he went too wide at times. And also in the second half, his positioning was higher than it should have been. So when he needed to track back, he was always beaten by his man because his man was faster than him, of course, because Stack at Hoffenheim, he played as a 6. Now Falke wants to play him as the left 8, capable of helping be that third man, capable of moving all around in the final third, alternating with Tanaka. But yesterday you couldn't do that against Arsenal. So in the second half, he placed him, especially on Zubimendi. So it was following Zubimendi, and Gruev was like all alone in the middle with Tanaka on the right, Stack moving around, trying to chase into Zubimendi everywhere. But it was, I think everyone had his fair share of responsibility yesterday. But in the end, I think the main responsibility yesterday for that setup is down to Falke, because in post-match he said, I didn't play Longstaff because I see him more as a number 8. So he played Gruev because he sees that the proper substitute in the 6 for Ampadu is Gruev. But you have Anton Stach, who played as a number 6 in the Bundesliga consistently for I don't know how many seasons recently. And he has playing that role. He was at Hoffenheim their playmaker. So why not starting with Longstaff, Stack, and Tanaka? Same discourse for me, same topic as the number 9 position. He decided to pick 2 players with just 1 Premier League appearance, Pirot and Gruev, in the first big test of the league against one of the top 6 away. And it shows them over because the starting 11, we won against Everton, so he decided to pick, apart from Ampadu, of course, the same starting 11 again that he picked against Everton, he didn't consider, the fact that the opponent was different, because Longstaff has 171 appearances in the Premier League. Last season, Newcastle, he started some games, but he was a starter in the previous seasons, They finished 4th last season, Newcastle, in the Champions League positions. So he knows what you need to do in those type of games. And Mecha has played for the last 4 seasons in the Bundesliga with Wolfsburg. He knows those kind of games, I think Pirot and Gruev in the long term can be more like we saw Gruev against Everton. He did well now when he came on. Mm-hmm. I think they are better suited, these kind of players, Pirot, Gruev, from the bench in specific situations in the second half. But you need better quality. And you have Longstaff on the bench. You cannot afford to have a player with 171 appearances with Newcastle, a club on the growth, growing in the recent season. And we know why, of course, because of the takeover. But one of the most consistent players for them, Longstaff, you cannot afford to leave him on the bench in a game like that. And that kind of topic of discussion can be held to about Biol. Maybe we had it in the days leading up to the game. Maybe Biol ahead of either Rodon or Strauch. We know the physicality of Gyökeres. I think Rodon did a good job at the start against him, but then they were too frantic with the ball. Loki and me said yesterday, especially Loki, I think, in the chat yesterday when we were watching the game, that sometimes they were too frantic with the ball because Gyökeres was pressing him, and Gyökeres is not the fastest player. So I think in the end, the good news for us is that this game happened on match day 2. So now you have the time to take adjustments. And so the other teams don't see this as the print, as the pattern, as the pattern for future games that they're going to play against us. Because people say, yeah, but it's also not different intensity, top pressure. Brentford, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, even the mid-table teams, others like Brighton, they will play with that type of intensity and high pressure against us. So it's not just Arsenal, So right now, very glad that it happened on match day 2 and not late on the season, because now we have the time to make the adjustments and make the signings for better quality that we still need in the squad. Because yesterday, Bogle booked very early in the game, Gudmundsson on the other side, but you still had Bayram on the left and Schmidt on the right. We still don't have that fullback, and that's the problem,
I just quickly say about midfield as well.
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah,
just to
go on.
Think of what Andre said most of it, to be fair, but I just want to mention, I think where Gruev struggles, and I agree, the criticism could be evenly dished out yesterday with any player, and particularly in the midfield, 100%. But he's always going to. He always will. It's just sometimes it's just for whatever reason. But what I will say, I think where Gruev struggles in games like this, like say when he came on against Everton, he was good, solid. Those are the games for him for sure. When we're a bit more on the ball, we're a bit more relaxed in the game. Every time he got the ball in, he was pressed. I think what Gruev struggles with, he's not really got much more ways of kind of avoiding or beating a press. If you look at Tanaka, body position is excellent. He can do that thing where he puts his body between it and he turns on it. Stat can beat a man if he needs to. Gruev hasn't got that. So when he's pressed and there's not a clear option, what can he do, basically? So you could see the hesitation was there. You could see it for that goal, like you mentioned, Joe. He had the ball. He just couldn't quite get it going quick enough. And an extra touch it just killed us. And we've got to remember with Tanaka, this is by far the best team he's ever played in his entire career.
Yeah.
The guy played in, obviously apart from internationals where he's played against some good teams. But in club football, he was in the German second tier. I don't know if he played any good teams in the cup, but he was in the German second tier, right? Not playing top teams there, are you? Moved to Championship. Again, we were the best team. And now he's in the Premier League. Was good against Everton. But this level, this jump up, for him would have been like, wow, I've never seen this. So we've got to remember that. These players are new. And that just, again, that exact thing there makes me go, well, we have a player who has played at this level consistently, who was on the bench, who got 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's little things like that where these players are here for a reason. And look, if the journals asked him at the end, why didn't you start these players? Then maybe we have an answer, but we don't. So hopefully they ask him in the next presser. We want to know why you didn't play these experienced Longstaff. Why didn't you play Metro, who has a clear physical output? Maybe he'll give us an answer. Maybe he said, look, they haven't got 90 minutes yet. They're still not sharp enough. Longstaff's had no pre-season. But we don't know that because we just don't know. So, yeah, we'll see. It's important now at Newcastle that I don't think we can play that same team. I think we have to.
No.
Absolutely.
I was gonna ask you, Lockie, and a lot of people are saying this, and what do you think the plan was? Because all week I'd said, if DCL's fit, you play him. If not, Metcha. I said this. I think all of us knew that was the best tactic. I'd said, I know this one got, but I was like, I'd probably play Harrison to help, Gudmundsson out with Saka. I don't think Nonto did a bad job, but I was just thinking, like, what can we do? How can this work? But the main one for all of us, I think, for the majority of the fan base, is the striker. So what for you was his plan? Like, was it just a case of, well, this team won last time, so they'll win again? I don't know.
I think there could be many ways to look at that. I mean, the fact we went long often, maybe we assumed Pirro could do better, which again, we assumed that. Playing out from the back, we tried it a lot. Maybe we assumed Arsenal wouldn't be as good at what they were doing. I don't know. The point is, I don't know. This is it. It was strange. And again, I'd like to know. I like the journalist to ask the manager, what was the plan? It'd be a good question to ask, wouldn't it? What was the plan? Yeah. Why did you start with? What were you trying to get out of the game? Because
I don't want to upset fucking relationships with the club. I'll tell you that, man.
But maybe he'll answer, and maybe they'll all go, all right, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work, and they were just really good, and we were poor. Maybe mentally we just weren't prepared for how good they'd be because we've not played at that level. I don't know. It's a good question to ask, 100%.
100%. I say this half jokingly, half true, I said we needed a backup for Ampadu, and there's a Yorkshire lad walking around Leeds somewhere thinking, I need a club this season. I'll keep saying his name. You just never know, because I tell you what, he did an all right for us in there yesterday. I'm not even joking.
Messaged Andrea that exact thing.
Did you?
I did. Was it you, Andrea? Was it my dad? I can't remember. I think
both. It was
it
was me. It was me.
I just said he won't do worse.
Nope. We need a backup six.
Why too? Why? Because experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Experience. And we still need more for me, apart from the fullback, yesterday, because you only had, because Ampadu's injury, you only had Longstaff on the bench.
Yeah.
As an 8, had no 6. You had Aronson, who really, who's the role of Aronson in this team on the long term, to be fair?
He's a right winger, and he's being brought on.
He's playing right winger, but yeah, exactly. But I don't think he's a right winger. That's the problem. He's an attacking midfielder in certain setups, but I don't think we've seen him pressing, trying to graft, in the second half against Everton when he arrived, when we needed to press, they'll build up because we were suffering in that specific moment of the game. But long term in 4-3-3, what is he going to play if not on the wing? And that's the problem, because I think in the Premier League, you need 1v1 out-and-out wingers, that can challenge, like Okafor can do that, Nyonto can do that, James can do that. The problem is that you need better quality, because Okafor is quality. He needs to stay fit. He needs to find consistency, because he hasn't played consistently on the wing in Italy, because the majority of his appearances were as a substitute. And as a substitute, you impact the game differently than from the start. Despite this, I would have liked to see him come on earlier in the game, because he had a full preseason with AC Milan. So there was nothing against him bringing him on earlier in the game, because he had a full preseason with AC Milan. But yeah, even in the 9, now we have DCL that is, of course, wasn't called up yesterday, wasn't in the matchday squad. So because he didn't have a full preseason with a team, probably trained on his own because he was a free agent, he will need time to get back in shape and get back to match fitness, to match intensity. Yeah. So you have right now Pirot, who's struggling, of course, if you're going to play the long ball, if you want to keep playing in that way, because he's a debutant in the Premier League. You have a Mecha, who's a player that can be useful, but ideally in the Premier League as a substitute. You have you had an interest in the market for Rodrigo Muniz, then Nikola Krstovic, and I don't think Calvert-Lewin can be the substitute right now for them. You still need another one for me, because ideally you have another 9, Calvert-Lewin, Mecha. All these key players can be useful, but you still need a goal scorer, a proper prolific goal scorer. If you look at the record of Rodrigo Muniz and Krstovic last season, now Krstovic gone to Atalanta, of course, they were goal scorers, And Muniz had interest from Atalanta too before Krstovic moved there. So I think bodies are still needed up front, on the wing, especially on the right, now that you have Okafor on the left, another midfielder and a fullback. 4, basically.
Yeah, we do. It's clear as day, Lockie. We need additions. Before we talk about that stuff, I just want to focus on or ask for a bit of perspective. I know we lost the game. Of course, I felt we would lose the game. I said it'd be 2-0. That it was worse than that. But teams can get slapped up by Arsenal, right? Teams can get slapped up by Arsenal. I know we didn't help ourselves, but I do believe that a little bit of perspective is needed. I don't know where your thoughts are on things. Obviously and evidently need to change in games away from home. That's for sure. It'd be interesting to see even how he tackles Newcastle, really, to be honest, because that's going to be an interesting one. But I think this, I mean, there's some saying he should go and stuff, which is fucking insanity to me. We've got before the season started, we said, listen, beat Everton, then we've got Arsenal and Newcastle up. It could be long, and it proved to be the case. But yeah, where are you at with that?
It's been one excellent game, one terrible one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because it can happen. It still don't mean I like it when it does. You know what I mean? I still hate it.
Yeah, of course.
I still hate getting beat like bad. It's embarrassing to me. Not like embarrassing as in you should be embarrassed. It's just as a club, I feel a bit fine. And then you've got them all laughing. I just don't like it. You know what annoyed me the most, genuinely? When they scored their first goal, the celebrations weren't even that big. It's almost like they just strolled into it like, yeah, we'll smoke these. Do you know what I mean? And I know we're not there yet, but I want us to be. So until we're there, it'll always annoy me when we get battered like that. But that will happen. For me, it's about as long as the players and the club, obviously, and the coaching staff understand why or what we could have done better, not to win, just to be more competitive and being in the game. And when we were pressed, what could we have done better to actually get some out of that, create more chances? Because look, even if we don't win the game, we could still have created more, 100%. We could still have been more calmer on the ball. These little things, we could have made better decisions still. You can lose and still be all right. You can lose and be absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think we were terrible in the sense that, they absolutely... we went 25 minutes without conceding, weren't it, about that? So it weren't terrible. It was just, you could tell that slowly they were getting a grip of the game and we didn't have any answers. And like Andre said, there will be teams that, although not as good as Arsenal, obviously, they will have aspects like the press or the shape that will be just as good in certain, you know what I mean? So we have to adjust. We have to react to that. It's about the reaction for me, Joe. Yeah. We now have to go to Newcastle and show everything we didn't in the Arsenal game. Season won't be defined on that if we don't let it. If we go, if we're at Newcastle next week and they batter us, then you're thinking, right, that's affected us then.
Okay.
They're a good team. Again, I'll say what I said against you. I just want us to be competitive in that game against Newcastle. Yeah. If I see us compete at home, do decent, create chances, look solid, look good, then whatever happens. But just compete. That's all I want, mate. That's genuinely all I'm asking.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. Look, Lockie just mentioned there, Andrea, about obviously how we go about that Newcastle game. Obviously, we've got the small matter of Chef Wednesday on Tuesday night in the Cup. Is this a case for you where we go, right, DCL comes in, or Metcha starts, Okafor starts, Beal starts, to get them up to like sort of match sharpness for that game on Saturday?
Yeah, that should be the case, to be fair. Yeah. Honestly, if some players are behind in terms of fitness, you need those kind of games, especially because we don't want a cup run this season. Of course, it would be nice, but now we are playing with the big boys, where the big boys play in the Premier League. So it would be nice to have a cup run maybe in the FA Cup, but especially when you're playing against teams from lower leagues like the Championship. I know that there's still a rivalry with Sheffield Wednesday because, of course, West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire. It's been a historical game in the past. But yeah, you need to rotate the squad and play like other players, especially DCL, if he's available. You need to play Harrison in that game. You need to use the players, especially that you don't plan to involve from the start against Newcastle, because you need to manage their fitness too. But yeah, I honestly think too that it should be a mix when it comes to Farke, because in the end, I'm more leaning towards let's play the players that need to build their match fitness.
Yeah.
But I think that Farke right now after this game thinks it didn't work. We need to make it work, and we need to involve and get glued together the team with certain players.
Do you worry about a reluctance?
A very similar lineup.
A very
similar lineup.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, because in the end, remember in recent seasons, when we were playing in the Cup, he he made some changes, but many starters still started certain games in the cup. So honestly, to be fair, I'm more leaning towards, okay, we have Newcastle, rotate the squad. But it may also be the case of him saying, okay, I'm going to play Gruev again. I'm going to play Puro up front again. Some people may see like, yeah, he's going to play them against Sheffield Wednesday because the players will start against Newcastle. But in the end, we'll have the answer against Newcastle, because if you start them, then for me, it should be the case of, okay, Puro is starting, Gruev is starting, then that means that Mecha is going to start against Newcastle and Longstaff is going to start against Newcastle, because you have to change against Newcastle. So again, it should be down to rotate the squad, but with the players that you're not planning to start at Newcastle in certain positions. So we have a match up front against Newcastle, or this year I don't think it's ready again. So match starting against Newcastle, Longstaff, and learn from experience. Because in the end, you need to learn very quickly in the Premier League and not repeat the same patterns and the same mistake, because this is not the Championship anymore. We're not the hunted ones. We are the hunters now. Like we mentioned it before, playing the same setup every time in the Championship because we were the hunted ones. Yeah. We were the team challenging for promotion, and we were better than the majority of those teams. Now we are the hunters. We need to be like Coventry last season, like Stoke City last season, the teams that changed their approach compared to the opponent that we're facing, because, repeat, it doesn't work, It doesn't. We've seen that against Bielsa in certain games, It doesn't work if you repeat the same patterns, So something needs to change. More physicality in midfield, more players with experience, proven top-tier experience in the setup right now. And now we have to wait about the final stages of the transfer market, to see some final activity to really close the holes that we have still in the squad, Yeah.
Before we again we'll finish up on that transfer stuff, because there's only 8 days left. Quick thoughts, Lockie, on Perry. Too early to judge? Didn't look great.
Yeah, it didn't look great. Yeah, too early to. What's the thing you like saying, Joe? Throw the water, baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, baby out with the bathwater. That's the one. Aye.
I can't say it anymore. Yeah, too early for that. But it were poor. In my opinion, I don't know. I think I sent a screenshot earlier. I just think that goal where Gyökeres, everyone was poor for that Gyökeres goal, by the way, where he cut in. That was terrible. But it weren't far from him. His position was decent. He was covering that near post, and it went in there. It's look, new league, new team. It's different. Yeah. I'll give him time. Obviously, I'm not one of them people that goes crazy, but yeah, definitely pressure on him to get better, 100%, because he was, in my opinion, not great.
Yeah, be interesting what happens.
Too much
distribution was shite. Worse than Mezza's. I can't even lie. It was worse, especially even his short game. His short game's piss poor as well.
The Italian commentator Marianella was very spot on. He's an Arsenal fan, I think, but he's very reputable and respected because he's been commentating in the Premier League for many years. Yesterday he was commentating the game, and he said Perry, they signed him from Lyon. He's gonna be contending the number 1 position, with Darlow long term. So I don't think he was impressed by Perry, honestly, to be fair, if he said that, to be fair. But
I don't know him though. Like I don't know. I didn't see any of him. So I don't know if this is normal. Like I have no idea. So I've got no to really go on. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is just. I think
I've seen a few.
He's way better than that. He's way better than that.
Okay,
yeah.
That's all right.
I've seen a few mention his distribution not being on point though. Like it's a thing. That's not a thing he's known for. I would just ask him to just boot it long, because he's got a long kick on him. I'll give him that. Do you know what I mean? None of this short shit. Especially against Arsenal is what I will say. Yeah, definitely. Right, boys, we've got 8 days left of the window.
Yeah.
There's talk of Bakwa But obviously, Forest still seem to be sniffing about. It doesn't make logical sense to me, though, the Forest stuff. Just because they've got Hutchinson, they've got others. But I know Hudson-Odoi potentially might leave. So maybe, listen, it could be a case of Leeds United being used again like Paixão to get close to it. Because Sasha said Leeds are happy to meet the price. But we still haven't got him. So it's like Forest are getting closer. So it's almost like we could be getting used again. But fullbacks still haven't got. Don't have a winger. And you could argue we still need a 9, maybe a Demirovic or whatever. But and I want to get your thoughts on Ramazani's loan to Valencia as well. For me, we need a new right winger. We can't rely on James and Nonto for course at season. We need some quality at that side. We've got Okafor on the left. Listen, I feel if Calvert-Lewin's fit, we bring in a right winger. We have Okafor and Calvert-Lewin. I think that frees. It's enough for us in our first season in the Premier League. I do believe that. It's just if they can stay fit, because you're relying on Okafor and Calvert-Lewin staying fit. But yeah, Andrea, how do you see it going? It closes in 8 days, 7 tomorrow. How do you see it going?
I think we bring in the end a fullback that Fark has been requesting for a while now, and we need to. I would like honestly too, because but I think we got one capable of playing on both sides in the end. But I would have liked to, because you have Schmidt on the right, and we really didn't see him last season in the Championship, being played on a couple of occasions as a winger, as a substitute early in the season. Didn't look great in pre-season, especially being getting done by Okafor against AC Milan, at Dublin. On the left, you have Bayram, great 7 of the club, but of course, if Gudmundsson gets injured or suspended, you have Bayram, and imagine him against Saka yesterday, imagine him against, Hudson-Odoi, those kind of players, he will struggle because he is a veteran player, but you still need another backup, to be fair.
You
still
do.
need another backup. I think we go for a creative midfielder slash winger, probably. I would like a winger and a midfielder, but again, I struggle to see what's Aronson's role in this side, in this kind of formation. But that Aronson is staying, of course, so probably they go for a winger. I really doubt right now that we get another 9, but I think we need to absolutely 100%, because Mecha had injury problems recently. DCL had injury problems. Of course, they have a good pedigree because of what they've shown in the past, but that was the past, We don't know if they're going to repeat that again. So I would like a more proven, fitness-wise too, like Demirovic, was being rarely injured and is being prolific in the Bundesliga compared to the number of minutes that he played. So he deserves to start at a club, He's been used as a substitute again because they have Voltemade, they have Undav, they have many players up front, at Stuttgart. Or at least an up-and-running player, For example, he's not comparable in terms of... he was never going to come to Leeds, of course, but AC Milan apparently are going to sign Konrad Arder from Sporting Lisbon, Sporting CP. But yeah, that kind of player, a young player up and running that has proven that he can score, or else a nice ceiling, I think we still need that because, I don't think really... I hope he proves me wrong, to be fair. I think Pirot is more of an input sub in counter-attacks in the Premier League, for me. In specific situation of the game, especially in the second half, as an impact sub, DCL and Mecha, I think they're good players, but are they prolific goal scorers that can score and bag goals to keep us up? That's why I think we still need a prolific one up front, just to be fair. And Okafor, apparently, he decided to sign for us because he wants to play as a winger and he doesn't want to play as a 9 anymore. But yeah, in the end, it's not his preferred position, apparently. So yeah, I liked him more as a 9 in Italy, but yeah, apparently he doesn't want to play in that position. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we get the striker, if I'm honest. I think we get 2, and I think it'll be a right winger and a fullback. I'd love the striker. I don't know. There's something telling me we won't. Lockie, any thoughts on the transfer window? 8 days.
Yeah, it's not a lot, is it?
No.
What do we need? I still think in that game or against teams similar to Arsenal, I still think we lacked a creative midfielder. Someone that, when we did win the ball back from them, when they got on our edge of our box and we won it back, someone that can in that moment drive with it, just take a man on, do something. I feel like we massively lack that. Someone that can play that 8 and the 10 and attack. So I don't know, maybe a Rodrigo Salazar, I keep mentioning someone like that, a Maguire or something at Wolfsburg. Those types of players who in tight spaces, when they get impressed, can just do something magic, take a guy on, beat a guy, drive with it, win a foul, win a free kick. I still think we lack that profile massively. Obviously, I think we need a winger. Backward would be good for me. I like that one. I've been watching a bit of him the last few days, and I like that one.
He got an assist today,
Left-footed.
I think, off the bench, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah, I don't know. Done nice, yeah. Well, it is, again, left-footed, right-sided. It's different to what we've got out there. So 100% them. I mean, we need a backup full-back. I mean, it's like when Bogle got booked on it on like 8 minutes, whatever it was. I'm going, oh God. Yeah. So yeah, that's Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Someone said it in the chat. I've been saying it for the last few weeks.
Can play
Played a lot in
midfield as well, can't he?
Yeah, he can play either side. He's a good player. Played over 100 odd times in the Premier League for Arsenal. He's not,
Puchet,
what,
good
27?
goal in the chat.
Yeah, 27, I think.
I think it's too straightforward for this ownership.
Yeah, well, yeah. And yeah, that's it. And probably won't get guaranteed starting game time, but look, someone like that I think is massively needed in this team. It adds experience, he's a good player. And then, yeah, I'm not sure about the striker either, to be fair. But I do think if we bring in like a Demirovic or just someone like that, that's just one example. I think it's a bit of a game changer.
But, and just before I shoot over to Leeds, I'm on Leeds tonight. I'm conscious they start at 8. Quick thoughts on Ramazani, Andrea, and the loan move?
I think he wants to play more, but yeah, I think Valencia is a good destination on paper, but they play with a 4-4-2. So is he gonna play as a second striker? Because they played basically as seen with Dani Rab up front and Danjuma. So I think if they sign him on loan, he's gonna play as a second striker. Because if not, he's gonna be like an out-and-out winger, but in a 4-4-2, not so close with to the area, to the box, But yeah, apparently, he's never had a chance this season to gain some minutes because, of course, ahead of him, he has other players. He was never basically mentioned in the discussions and in the comments of Farke, pre-season in terms of, and we've seen also by these decisions, that he considers other players ahead of him. I don't think he could have had much of an impact yesterday, to be fair, because he's very similar to Gnonto in a certain sense. They are two similar players, and apparently if they want to bring in another winger, they want a different one. I think Ramazani started well his Leeds career, before he got injured last season. After that, when he came on, apart from a specific game that I cannot remember, I can remember if he was Watford, where he scored 2,
Watford, I think.
He got
2, he got 2.
Against Watford. The other cameos that he had, he was really, he was really struggling to get some momentum, in the Championship. Because you remember when we signed him from Almeria, the first thing that I said is, La Liga, you have much more spaces. We see Mateo Joseph too, Mallorca haven't won a game yet, lost against Barcelona and drew against Celta Vigo yesterday. But the spaces and the tempo that you enjoy are way different from the intensity and the pressure of the Premier League. So my first worry when Ramazani signed was the tempo, and the tempo, especially the timing of his decision making. So yeah, if he wants to go to La Liga, it's because he knows too that he is better suited, I think, to that specific league.
Hang on. Sorry, breaking news. Leicester have agreed a deal worth 10 million with Leeds for James Justin.
Leicester,
Good. Yeah, Leicester. James Justin's in the door. 10 million. What we saying? Happy? Seems pricey.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means no Ainsley Maitland-Niles, mate. I'm good.
It's
10 mil, that's
pricey
a
though.
lot, innit?
It's pricey. 10.
That's a lot of money.
Former England international, you know, they still, it still means something when they negotiate fees, you know.
True.
Yeah.
27 having medical at Leeds United as we speak. That is from Mike McGrath. So there you go. That's breaking news.
It does sound like a lot of money, but look, yeah, what 20? We need fullback, and he can do
We
both.
do. Yeah.
So,
Exactly. It's not my
I
money.
just said we need one that can play on both sides. Here we go.
Yeah, we've got it now.
Like 5 million each, I guess, if he can play both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's gonna be one player, two players in one, basically. 5 million on
exactly,
one side and 5 on the other. You know?
Yeah, English tax. Yeah, there is that. Listen, 10 million. It is what it is. It's done. Well, he's come for a medical. That's from Mike McGrath of the Telegraph. It looks bang on, bob on. We'll probably see local journalists report it in the morning, because they're on the money at the minute. They're on time all the time. But yeah, listen, I'll speak about that tomorrow. I've done all day here. I am going to be over on Leeds That now, where they'll probably speak about this deal live with Rocco and Dara. James is on holiday, so they asked me if I would go over. There is also a redirect set for this, folks, so you don't need to do anything. So if you want to speak some more on it, we're going to redirect over to there. So yeah, boys, back to winning ways against Newcastle.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully.
1-1 won't be a bad result. 1-1 won't be a bad result.
Change.
Change is needed.
An Italian magician says that change.
There
You need to change. Yeah.
We need to change. Thanks everyone for watching tonight, watching today. That was the final word. We'll speak about James Justin, no doubt, tomorrow when we get some more details. I'm going over on Leeds That now. Join us. Also go subscribe to Lockie, tactical breakdowns, scouting reports, all that sort of jazz. He's on the money. He's tip top. Make sure you follow Andrea on Twitter as well. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you on Leeds That. Make sure you put JUSTJOE FC in the chat and we'll see you in a bit. Bye, folks. Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Bye-bye.